unbelievable. The things you say, the things you say, the things you say, the things you say, you're unbelievable. The things you say, your healthy look just gives you away. The things you say, you sauna, you're unbelievable. The things you say, your healthy look just gives you away. The things you say, you sauna, you're unbelievable. The things you say, your healthy look just gives you away. The things you say, you sauna. The things you say, your healthy look just gives you away. The things you say, you sauna, you're unbelievable. You sauna, you're unbelievable. You sauna, you're unbelievable. You sauna, you're unbelievable.
Ayan. So good afternoon everyone. All 20 of us here sa call natin and welcome po to Yusana's Smart Health. So this happens po every Friday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So for today's topic naman, pag-uusapan po natin will be all about your gut health or the health of your gastrointestinal tract. So good afternoon again to everyone. I am Jace Nocete, one of the corporate pharmacists for USANA Philippines. So before we begin, let me ask po muna our participants in the call today. Kung saan po kayo ngayon at this very moment, kindly type in the chat box po where you are currently located. So meron tayo from Davao City, Ma'am Joy, Ma'am Rose from Cebu, hello, hello, from San Pedro, from Cebu, Sir Victor, from Cavite, from Batangas, Parañaque. So we're all over the Philippines. So magandang hapon sa ating lahat. And of course, pag-uusapan natin will be all about our gut health. But before we begin po, let me make an announcement regarding po our grand celebration which will be happening this February. So for our grand celebration po, this will be a virtual grand celebration, and we are now in our last 2 weeks in the selling of our tickets. And the grand celebration will be happening on February 7, 2021. So each ticket po is at 350 pesos. But if you buy 10 tickets, you get one ticket free for 3,500 pesos only. So the tickets started selling way back last November 23, 2020, and hanggang January 31 lang po yung tickets natin for sale. So make sure to get your tickets as early as now. The tickets are already available po online and over the counter. So a unique code will be sent to your email a week before the event. So please take note po that 1 week pa po before the event, doon pa po magsasend ng code for Usana Grand Celebration. And of course, you need to update. You need to update po your email address and your contact number in our system so that we will be sending the codes to the correct email address. And of course, one code is good for one device only. So reminder lang po, one code is good for one device only. So yun po yung announcement natin for our virtual grand celebration this coming February 7, 2021. So we'll be seeing you there po. Wherein here in Usana, we will be scaling new heights. And of course, no, today pag-uusapan po natin will be all about our product, which is our Usana Probiotic. So this is a supplement that will actually support the health of your gut or your gastrointestinal tract. So, bago po tayo magsimula, let us first try to understand muna kung paano ba gumagana yung ating GI tract. So, nagsisimula po kasi yan kasi yung GI tract po natin or yung gut po natin is at the very core of our health. So if nakatayo po tayo, if you notice mula ulo hanggang paa, the one in the middle is actually our GI tract. So our gut is actually at the core of our health. So lahat ng kinakain natin, lahat ng iniinom natin, it will all go through the digestive system. And pag dumating na dyan sa digestive system natin, it will be broken down into micro and macronutrients. And these micro and macronutrients will be the ones utilized by the cells so that they can function properly. So kailangan na kailangan natin ng pagkain to be broken down into micro and macronutrients para magamit ito ng cells natin. Now, kailangan nating malaman that any imbalances sa ating GI tract na nagdi-disrupt ng process ng ating gut, this can start a vicious cycle. No, masisira yung flow or pattern ng ating GI tract. And this could bring discord to your health and eventually to your life. So that is why before we talk more about Usana Probiotic, we have to first understand how our digestive tract works. And what is the most basic thing that we have to understand is that yung katawan natin is fueled by the food that we eat and the liquids that we drink. No, kung ano yung kinakain natin, this is actually converted into fuel for the body. And eventually, this will become the energy currency in the body, which is in the form of glucose. So we have to make sure that we are maintaining our digestive health because this is an important factor in getting the nutrients that our body needs. Kasi our digestive system is responsible for breaking down and absorbing all the nutrients galing sa pagkain natin, galing sa supplements natin, and this is delivered to our cells. And that process, lahat ng process na yan, ay tinatawag nating digestion. Now, digestion happens when the food that you take in, it starts when it goes sa bibig natin. So, for example, if kumain ka ng apple, yung apple na yan will undergo a roller coaster ride in digestion. Bakit? Because digestion starts with the mouth and eventually this will end when wastes are eliminated in the form of stool or feces. So dadaan siya from the mouth going down to our esophagus, going down to our stomach, through our intestines, and eventually it is eliminated sa katawan natin. But it's not that simple. Kasi sa pag-journey ng apple na yon through our digestive tract, it undergoes several processes. And in digestion, we are trying to understand kung ano yung nangyayari sa pagkain natin. So, if kumain tayo ng apple, as I mentioned earlier, how does the fruit become a usable form in our body? So, pagkain natin, hindi siya nagiging microscopic apples. Instead, yung apple na kinain natin is crushed and digested and broken down into smaller pieces, into compounds, into sugars, proteins, vitamins, and minerals, as well as other importance. And of course, this is through the digestive process. And in that sense, we are actually breaking down food into its absorbable and usable form because digestion is a multi-step process. And of course, if pag-uusapan natin digestion, it will start with with of course the mouth. No, yun yung pinaka simula ng ating digestion. When we talk about the mouth actually contains several organs that help with digestion. First off is yung teeth nyo, yung ngipin. So when you bite something, it is actually one of the first steps ng digestion. It crushes the food, it tears the food into smaller pieces. And of course, inside the mouth, meron tayong salivary glands. And yung salivary glands naman, this will start to secrete saliva. And a fun fact lang is that in a day, our salivary glands is capable of producing 1.5 liters of saliva on an average daily basis. So ganun kadami yung napuproduce na saliva. Now, ang importance ng saliva dun is to help lubricate the food that has been crushed and torn into the esophagus. So it will serve as a lubricant. Kasi the tongue will slowly push that food from the oral cavity at bababa yan sa ating esophagus. Wherein sa esophagus naman, it will only take 8 seconds. 8 seconds lang yung kailangan para makarating yung food galing sa bibig, through the esophagus, and into now the stomach. Kaya nga tinawag ko siyang roller coaster ride kasi ganun kabilis. 8 seconds is very fast. From the mouth to the stomach. Now, pagdating sa pagkain dun sa stomach, it will now be exposed to a lot of our gastric acid or tinatawag nating stomach acid. And digestion continues in that particular organ. And for the next 3 hours, ganun yung gagawin ng ating stomach. It will expose, it will break down food into smaller particles hanggang sa maging almost liquid form na siya. And during this time, in that span of 3 hours, it will now start to move from the stomach into the small intestines through a process na tinatawag nating peristalsis. Now, peristalsis kasi is a natural movement ng ating GI tract to push food from one part to the next organ, and that is from the stomach now to the intestines. Now, kailangan ng around 3 hours for the stomach to be empty. So if you're going to eat breakfast at 7 o'clock, you will notice pagdating mo ng 10 o'clock in the morning, ang nangyayari dyan is you will start to feel hungry. And that is actually because your stomach has emptied the contents into the small intestines. So lahat ng kinain mo na nasa tiyan mo, sa stomach mo, has already moved on from the stomach to the intestines. And that is why it's very important to remember this particular process in digestion. Now, pagdating naman dun sa small intestines, it will take around 4 to 5 hours. Doon na nangyayari yung absorption ng compounds, ng vitamins, minerals, and the nutrients that have been broken down into its usable form. And afterwards, due to peristalsis naman, dadaan na ulit yung pagkain mo or yung broken down food mo from the small intestine to the large intestine. And when that happens, that particular byproduct of digestion will now be called stool. And it can sit there for up to 48 hours bago siya ma-expel from the body. So, ito yung process ng digestion na nangyayari sa atin whenever we eat food. So, our gastrointestinal system is central to that process. Kasi, our GI tract is host to trillions of bacteria. These microorganisms, tinatawag natin silang microflora or microbiome. And the presence of these microorganisms kasi can help form a beneficial relationship between sa atin as the host and between them as residents ng ating GI tract. So, yung bacteria na nandun or yung microflora or microbiome na nandun can help with the digestive processes. And the bacteria there can flourish when they feed on the byproducts of digestion. So in that sense, it's a win for them and a win for us. This is why we have to make sure that we take care of our GI tract. We take care of our GI tract, and in that sense, we are also taking care sa mga microbiota na nakatira sa ating gut or sa ating GI tract. Kasi they serve a variety of purpose. No, marami silang na ibibigay sa katawan natin. One of which is by supporting the activity of enzymes when breaking down fats, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, and minerals into usable forms. Now, alam naman natin na lahat ng processes ng katawan natin are biochemical processes. And these biochemical processes, kinakailangan sila ng enzymes. And these enzymes, what do? Pinapabilis nila yung biochemical processes. Now, pag walang enzyme, yung biochemical process na yan, matatagalan yan. It will take a lot of time and, of course, it will do us no good. Kasi matagal maa-absorb yung nutrients for us. Matagal yung breakdown, matagal ang absorption. That is why the presence of enzymes will hasten or pinapabilis niya yung biochemical processes. And our microbiome is capable of assisting and supporting enzyme activity. And in that sense, pinapabilis nila yung breakdown ng fats, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins and minerals into their usable forms. So this is already an advantage for us. They help with digestion. Second benefit that we get in taking care of this microbiota is that these microorganisms are producing an essential vitamin sa katawan natin, and that is vitamin K. Now, itong vitamin K is crucial to our clotting factors sa dugo natin. Notice nyo if nagkagalos kayo or may sugat kayo, what happens is dudugo yan. But eventually, titigil yung pag-bleed. And it's actually because the presence of vitamin K in the blood, which will support in blood coagulation. Now, this vitamin K is produced by the bacteria in our intestinal tract. And pag walang bacteria na nakatira dyan sa ating intestinal tract, wala tayong vitamin K na napoproduce naturally. So that is why that's the second reason kung bakit tayo kailangang pangalagaan yung ating microflora. The third one is to help remove toxins and waste from the body through the normal passage of stool. So, they also help naman with the elimination ng toxins sa katawan natin. That is why we actually, I think, no, we benefit more if we take care of this microbiota, if we take care of our GI tract. Now, sa dami ng species of bacteria sa ating GI tract, they are beneficial and potentially harmful naman at the same time. Kaya kailangan nating mag-maintain ng right balance of this particular microorganisms. So, there are actually several factors that can upset that balance or that stability sa ating intestinal environment. And these factors include stress, hydration, rest, and exposure. Now, kailangan natin itong pag-usapan. Rest. How many hours in a day do you sleep? So type in the chat box, ilang oras ba kayong natutulog in a day on an average? So type in the chat box, how many hours do you spend in a day for sleep? So ideally, kung bata ka pa, between the ages of 0 to uh, 11 years to 12 years of age, your sleep should be between 10 to 12 hours. And as you grow older, no, pagdating mo ng adult, is aabot na yan ng, it should be between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So, kudos to those who are getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. For those naman, below 7, I think you need a lifestyle check. Kailangan na kailangan natin yung tulog because it is not an optional process. It is actually a necessary process for us to function. Now, madalas ko tong marinig when I was in college. Sinasabi nilang, sleep is for the weak, which is actually very wrong. Kasi, if you've heard the proverb na nagsastate, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So, yung saying na yon, while an early bedtime hindi naman nakaka-guarantee ng financial success, I guarantee you, it can help your health, most especially with your GI tract. Kasi, if you are awake in the late hours up until umaabot ka ng 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., your digestive tract will also be active at that time. So if hindi ka nag-rest, of course hindi rin magpapahinga yung digestive tract mo. If natutulog ka, syempre magpapahinga din yung digestive tract mo. So you're going to see it that way. If natutulog ka, natutulog din, nakakapag-recover and recuperate din yung microbiome present there. So that is how you take care. You need to have at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep when it comes to sleeping at night. So let's make that clear po. For those who are getting 6 hours, I implore you, pangalagaan po natin yung tulog natin to make sure we get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Now, the next factor that we have to consider is exposure. That is why ngayon there's a travel ban. Kasi travel is the fastest way to introduce microorganisms sa katawan natin. That is why a travel ban was imposed when a new strain of COVID was detected. So, it's logic kasi travel, yun yung pinakamabilis na ma-expose ka to new microorganisms. And this is especially true when taking care of our GI tract. Kasi if you travel, no, you're actually exposing your body to newer microorganisms na hindi pa familiar yung GI tract mo. No, the water that you drink, the food that you eat. Kaya nga, most of the diseases na makikita mo with regards to travelers is what we call the traveler's diarrhea. Kasi that is actually the continuous exposure to new microorganisms na hindi pa familiar sa iyong katawan. And however, although may travel ban, meron naman tayong other sources when it comes to exposure. Yung laundry natin, if we are doing it in laundry shops, that's one way of exposure. Sa kitchen natin, yung ingredients natin, most of the ingredients that we have are not homegrown, di ba? We buy them from the supermarket, we buy them from the palengke. So that is why it's very important for us to remember that these are sources of exposure. Uh, the motor vehicles that we ride going to work, yung mga jeeps, bus, yung mga cars natin, these are vehicles that could serve as an introduction to newer microorganisms. Yung gym na pinupuntahan mo, and most importantly, yung wallet mo or yung purse mo, meron itong coins and cash and bills. These things have been passed around probably everywhere. And hinahawakan mo yan. And of course, that's one way of introducing newer microorganisms sa katawan mo. And that is why you have to make sure that you minimize your exposure to these new microorganisms if we are going to talk about keeping exposure to a minimum. No? Kailangan natin is-sanitize muna whenever we go to the gym. Yung mga coins natin, we sanitize them also. Yung mobile phones natin, most especially, we bring it everywhere. We place it anywhere. So, kailangan natin is-sanitize yan. We minimize exposure. Now, what other factors? Ulit, we also have stress. Now, stress, particularly yung mga occasional stress, yung mga hectic schedules, stress from travel, lifestyle disruptions, no? Travel din pala included, no? Particularly, I am one of those who are very stressed out pag nagta-travel, most especially pag sumasakay ng eroplano. A flight from Cebu to Manila is probably less than an hour. Pero parang nakapag around the globe na ako sa time na yon sa takot. So that occasional stress could actually take a toll sa ating digestion. And eventually, if that stress is too much, this can cause GI upsets. Now, there are some people that might experience GI upsets in the form of constipation. Meron ding iba na diarrhea. So it depends upon the individual. So that is why make sure that you balance or you manage yung stress na nai-experience mo. So make sure that you manage the stress levels. And lastly, hydration. Now, very important to remember kasi is that our bodily functions, lahat ng functions ng processes ng katawan natin, this actually relies a lot on water. So 70% of our body is made of water. So proper hydration is needed talaga para ma-maintain yung homeostasis natin. Yung homeostasis is tinatawag nating balance between the physiological processes ng katawan natin. And of course, Pag walang balance dyan, of course, we cannot maintain our health. So to keep things running smoothly sa atin, we have to make sure that we hydrate properly. And when we talk about hydration, when we talk about hydration, how much water are we talking about? How much water are we talking about? This is 8 to 10 glasses per day. So that is 8 to 10 glasses per day. So that is around 2,000 liters in a day. So that is the minimum requirement when it comes to hydration. So pakatandaan nyo lang po, you have to remember that you need at least 8 to 10 glasses of water in a day. Now, how do we make sure that we get a healthy digestion? So here are some tips. No, number one, kakasabi ko lang, we need 8 to 10 glasses of water in a day. So when we talk about water, when we talk about water, we have to make sure it's ample hydration. So 8 to 10 glasses per day. Ano bang purpose nito? With the presence of water in our GI tract, this will allow the materials in your intestine, yung food na broken down na, to easily move with each muscle contraction or with each peristaltic movement. So, this will serve as a lubricant. So, bibilis yung pag-pass niya from your small intestines to your large intestines. And of course, when this is eventually eliminated, water makes it more comfortable to eliminate stool. Kasi lubricant nga. So this allows you to have better digestion and at the same time, relief when it comes to elimination. Now the second suggestion is fiber. So with regards to fiber naman, this can help with easing digestion. So complex carbohydrates kasi like fiber will add bulk and weight to the stool natin. And when stool is heavy, this will this will pass easier sa ating intestines. And with fiber present in the stool, this will absorb more water. So more water means more weight, and more water means easier to move from the small intestines to the large intestines and eventually easier to eliminate. Now, ang kailangan lang nating tandaan with regards to fiber is we have to make sure that we don't overly or eagerly take too much fiber quickly. No, hindi natin bibiglain yung pag-take natin ng fiber. Kasi when we suddenly increase our intake of fiber too quickly, you might experience unpleasant consequences. So, example nito is intestinal gas buildup, bloating, or generally my abdominal discomfort. So, before you actually think of adding fiber into your diet, make sure lang natin na you don't add it too quickly and hindi masyadong marami. So, you ease in when it comes to adding fiber sa diet natin. And of course, we also try to make sure that we look for natural sources of fiber that we add to our diet. So we get fiber actually from our vegetables, from fruits. We also have nuts, beans, and whole grains. So these are actually very rich sources of fiber. So kailangan natin yun to ease digestion. And of course, no, we also have our probiotic support. No, kailangan natin yung beneficial bacteria. And that is through our USANA probiotic. Now with USANA probiotic, we can support the digestive and immune health with a beneficial blend of proven bacterial strains delivered in a convenient powdered formula. So yun yung importante natin. Your USANA probiotic is available readily in a convenient powdered formula. So, ano bang ginagawa ng USANA probiotic natin? So, yung USANA probiotic natin can supply an increase ng friendly bacteria sa ating GI tract. And once we increase the amount of good bacteria, this will create a better and a ideal environment for our microorganisms to perform at their best. And of course, when taking this particular supplement, this can offer important benefits for our daily health and well-being natin. So, aside sa pag-increase ng normal bacteria, this will help now promote good digestion and nutrient absorption. This can help maintain digestive comfort and regularity. And at the same time, this can help support a healthy immunity. Now, yung Usana probiotic natin can bring balance to our belly's bacteria. No, kailangan natin ng balance. We need them in large quantities so that they perform at their best. And of course, there are what makes naman our Usana probiotic an excellent choice when it comes to probiotic support. There are two reasons. Number one is the strain present ng ating probiotic. And that is our Bifidobacterium animalis and Lactobacillus rhamnosus. Now, these two strains are similar to the Bifidobacterium and the Lactobacillus that are already part ng ating natural microflora. So in a sense, yung stomach mo already has familiarity with this type of microorganism na makikita mo sa GI tract. And in that sense, they can easily propagate, they can easily be absorbed sa katawan natin. The second reason is the proportions in which they are formulated. They are in proportions of 50-50 for each microorganism. And mind you, itong dalawang bacteria is two of the most studied probiotic bacteria. And that is very important to remember. Alam na natin yung strains, alam natin that they are naturally occurring sa ating GI tract. And they are in 50-50 proportions. And of course, we are able to deliver this amount of live bacteria and provide real benefits even after 18 months. Now, guaranteed kasi that you can have 12 billion colony-forming units of active bacteria from Usana probiotic. Now, studies have shown how much ba yung kailangan para makita mo yung benefits ng probiotic support. The minimum requirement is 1 billion. Now, Usana's is 12 billion colony-forming units of active bacteria. So you get 12 times as much when you use Usana probiotic. And that is very, very important to remember. Kasi, yung colony-forming bacteria, these are the ones that are needed to provide the probiotic effects. Ito yung kailangan natin to provide the probiotic effects. And mind you, with that in mind, we are now able to help keep our tummy calm. Pinapakalma niya yung GI tract natin. So the occasional mild gas, constipation, bloating, and diarrhea, these are very, very uncomfortable. No? It's something na hindi natin welcome. No? Wala naman sigurong gusto kong magka-diarrhea or gusto kong bloated or gusto kong constipated. Di ba? Wala. So these are very uncomfortable. So with the presence of probiotic, with our probiotic support, we can help reduce the chance of physical discomfort by creating the ideal environment for healthy digestion with our Usana probiotic. Now, by maintaining a balanced digestive system, with Usana probiotic, we can help things moving. It has benefits for bowel regularity. And of course, no, it will aid in the consistent waste elimination through the normal passage of stool. And of course, this can help also maintain digestive health and comfort while traveling. And aside from that, yung probiotic natin, yung sana probiotic, can help have a healthy gut as a strong barrier. Supporting a healthy gut kasi with Usana probiotic, this can help you stay well. And especially when you're under pressure. Kasi research have shown, no, pag masyado kang stressed out, this could actually cause your GI microbiome to have an imbalance. Namamatay sila with stress. And most importantly, maraming immune cells natin are actually found in our intestines than in any other region of the body. And this makes sense because yung healthy GI tract is the central line of immune defense. And because it serves as a barrier, so Usana probiotic supports immunity through strength in numbers. So your bacteria, your natural bacteria in the line of the wall of your GI tract is supported through this strong barrier, and of course we can help maintain normal function. So we are able to deliver more friendly bacteria to our GI tract and help reinforce the activity of our immune cells. And there, we are actually filling good bacteria sa attachment sites ng ating intestinal walls. So our gut barrier is fortified. And of course, in that sense, we are able to help you in maintaining your health in the GI tract. And our key ingredients for our Usana probiotic, as I mentioned, is we have our Lactobacillus rhamnosus and Bifidobacterium animalis BB12. Now, itong key ingredients are very important because they support a healthy gut through our Usana probiotic. And of course, sa usage naman, this is intended for adults wherein you could use one stick pack directly taken or consumed immediately. Pero if hindi hiyang sa inyo yung pag-consume directly from the stick pack, you could actually mix it with cold food or beverage. And of course, make sure to consume it within a reasonable time frame, no less than 30 minutes. So we have to make sure also to keep this product out of the reach of children because this one is not intended for children. And of course, consult your physician first if you have any autoimmune disorders or you are taking any immunosuppressant medication, pregnant, nursing, or taking a prescription drug for or have a medical condition. So this is a GI tract supporting supplement which is sugar-free, gluten-free, and dairy-free. And it's very easy to use. And the taste is mildly sweet. Na parang hindi mo na siya matitaste. And or you can mix it with cold food or beverage or you can directly take it from the stick pack. So we have a few frequently asked questions regarding our product Usana Probiotic. So one of the most frequently asked questions was, can Usana Probiotic be mixed with any food or beverage? So when it comes to this question, as I mentioned, the most convenient way or the best way to take Usana Probiotic is to consume it directly from the stick pack. But if hindi hiyang, if you're not comfortable doing it, you can add it to cold food or beverage. Take note po, cold food or beverage. Hindi po siya pwede for boiling, for hot liquids or boiling liquids. Bawal na bawal pong i-add yung Usana probiotic natin to hot or boiling liquids as these high temperatures po can reduce po the effectiveness ng ating produkto. And of course, if you decide to mix Usana Probiotic in a separate food or beverage, it has to be consumed within a reasonable time frame of less than 30 minutes. No, kailangan mo pag na-mix mo na 'yan with food or beverage, you have to consume it within 30 minutes or less. Kasi this will help in preserving the potency of the product. Pag pinatagal mo na yan, there is a potential loss of potency ng ating product. So make sure that you consume the Usana Probiotic mixed with cold food or beverage in a reasonable time frame po. Now, the next question is, can Usana Probiotic be given to children? Again, uh, it is actually formulated for adults, for use by healthy adults. However, meron namang research that it has benefits for the children. You may want to discuss first with your healthcare professional, with your licensed physicians, with regards to the usage of Usana Probiotic for your children. But reminder lang po, this product has been formulated for adults. Okay? So yun po, can Usana Probiotic be given to children? And of course, another common question is we have, can Usana Probiotic be given to pregnant women? So of course, no, when we talk about pregnant women, Usana Probiotic is generally safe to use during pregnancy naman po. However, and of course, kasi meron tayong benefits when it comes to pregnant women taking in Usana Probiotic while they are pregnant. Now, you might have to discuss first with your healthcare provider, with your OBGYN, before you actually take this particular product. No? Just to be sure, kailangan po natin mag-consult muna ng ating OBGYN with regards to our consumption of Usana Probiotic for pregnant women. So, make sure po to consult with a healthcare provider. So that ends our training with regards to our product Usana Probiotic. So thank you very much for attending our Smart Health, which now happens every Friday. So if you have any queries or questions po, feel free to email me jace.nocete at usanainc.com, or you may also email my co-pharmacist Mariel Perile or Nina Diacordon for Makati and Davao respectively. So thank you very much everyone for giving your time to attend this training for our Usana Probiotic. So I wish you a great weekend ahead. No, thank God it's Friday. It's a very great weekend ahead for you, for our associates, for all those who are in the call today. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope to see you in future trainings here in USANA. So make sure po to attend our future trainings here in USANA. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great weekend ahead. Thank you and goodbye.